mind with a file, an engineering file, and order your own parts for whatever you may need. This has tremendous implications on localization of services that can't be done today. Okay, let's take it one step further. Bioprinters are 3D printers that output living cells in order to permit the creation of human or other animal tissue and even entire organs. Already, a company called Organovo has taken delivery of the world's first commercial bioprinter and has successfully bioprinted some experimental human blood vessels. Human trials of bioprinted arterial grafts and even kidneys may be now less than a decade away. Okay, another new technology that maybe doesn't have quite as much sizzle as that, it's called augmented reality, and we're seeing this right now. This is augmented reality overlays digital data on a real-time view of the world. For example, most commonly, a user can now hold up a smartphone or a tablet and see additional information overlaid on the video feed. And this will be expanded in application many times in the near future. Okay, next this is one everyone has heard about and probably knows a lot about, and that's cloud computing. Cloud computing, of course, is where computer software, user data, and processing power are accessed from the Internet's cloud rather than a local desktop or an organizational data center. This allows users to access their data and applications from any device and also to collaborate more easily. So it's having more and more implications every day. Genetic engineering is another thing that everyone is at least relatively familiar with, but this is where, of course, we alter the traits of living organisms by changing the information encoded in their DNA. This may involve creation of genetically modified plants, animals, and microorganisms, as well as the development of genetic medicine. And even though it's well known and everyone's familiar with it, it's still at the very early stage of what it's going to be doing. Sort of as a corollary to that is synthetic biology, which applies an engineering mentality to biology, whereas traditional genetic engineers splice a gene or two from one existing species into another. Synthetic biologists radically alter existing life for new purposes, and they've also started to create new forms of life from scratch using standardized genetic components termed biogrids. Another one that, again, probably everyone has heard of, but is really just scratching the surface yet in terms of applications, is nanotechnology. Nanotechnology, of course, is the science of understanding and manipulating materials on a nanometer scale. The nanometer is 1/1,000,000th of a meter, or the length of a few atoms placed end to end. Already, nanotechnology is being used in the production of some microprocessors, batteries, computer displays, paints, and cosmetics, but this is just the beginning of a manufacturing and medical revolution. Quantum computing. Rather than storing and processing information using miniature transistors contained in silicon chips, quantum computers work with data using the quantum mechanical states of subatomic particles. Due to the peculiarities of quantum mechanics, each quantum computing qubit can store a value of both 1 and 0 simultaneously, therefore allowing quantum computers to move beyond the limitations of ordinary binary processing. Already, a company called D-Wave has created the first commercial quantum computer with its D-Wave 1, and Google has been experimenting with quantum computing as well. And the last one I'm going to mention before going on is probably the most out there of them all, and that is helium-3 power generation. I don't know if any of you have heard of that. Helium-3 is an element that is very well, it may be the fuel for a new generation of clean nuclear fusion power plants. Unfortunately, helium-3 is exceptionally rare on the Earth because helium-3 comes from the solar waves and so forth that come out through space, and our atmosphere deflects those mostly away, so we have very little helium-3 on Earth. There is, however, thought to be an abundant supply of helium-3 on the surface of the moon. Mining lunar helium-3 may also become a large part of our solution to peak oil, broader fossil fuel depletion, and climate change. And you don't even see in the media at all, but several countries, including the United States, China, and a couple of European countries, are actively working on programs to go to the moon to mine helium-3. Okay, now let's take a look at a few key industries I mentioned earlier. I'm going to start with the IT industry because that's the one we most associate with all these rapid changes in technology that we're dealing with. Specialization can be a good thing in technology work, but it's not necessarily the future, contends vendor-neutral, non-profit industry organization CompTIA. IT workers with hybrid skills that mix technology and business management expertise along with certifications will be highly sought after as technology jobs grow in the double digits over the next 4 years. Hybrid skills that combine on-the-job expertise along with training and industry-recognized certifications are necessary. With technology job growth expected to expand by a government estimated 18% by 2014, diversifying your technology business and management skills will help ensure employment over the long haul. Terry Ertl, Senior Vice President of CompTIA, says trends in technology are changing the employment landscape. It doesn't mean that we don't need people, it's just a different kind of job. Skills in security, IT architecture, and systems engineering are elemental features of jobs in areas such as cloud computing, healthcare technology, and environmental technology work that's expected to consume many of the jobs in the coming years. CompTIA will be releasing certifications in these areas over the course of the next year. In the meantime, developers, project managers, security specialists, and network engineers are skill sets in demand now, says that organization. One of the industry bloggers, Eric Eagle, says, my advice for anyone entering the industry or even veterans seeking their first accreditations would be to load up on CompTIA certifications. It says, how can you go wrong with the manufacturer-independent certifications that demonstrate mastery of fundamentals across a range of topics, including project management, hardware, networking, security, and voice networks? You do a lot of work. Now, employees do need to possess a combination of functional knowledge, domain expertise, and soft skills, including programming, technical domains, business domains, and engineering services, like skills associated with product design capabilities, tool design, advanced engineering and analysis, embedded electronic and software development, industrial automation, control logic design, and use of CAD, CAM, and computer-assisted engineering tools. But the term, and I think you're familiar with this term in the industry as well, is to hire for attitude and train for skills. Okay? The need to be well-mannered, understand and respect cultural disparities, business etiquette, among other basic necessities and mannerisms are gaining meaning. Technical skills can always be acquired or modified. Okay? The key difference is in the behavioral skills that set apart the good from the great. Apart from leadership development programs, time management coaching, team building workshops, presentation and communication skills, and business etiquette, some of the training programs that are popular in demand include assertiveness training, client interaction, conferencing skills, giving and receiving performance feedback, strategic thinking, etc. Now, conservation of cash, sustenance of profits, retention of customers and existing business, innovation in business models that deliver same for less to the customers are key drivers in a shrinking economy. So the managerial skill sets required then are the ability to manage costs and returns effectively and comprehensively, the ability to innovate, the ability to communicate and motivate, deep understanding of the business and technology domain, the ability to manage relationships, the ability to apply contemporary management techniques. Okay, acquiring skills and understanding and relating them to the job hold the key rather than just amassing a hoard of skill sets and expertise without proper knowledge of the application. Apart from the company demands of the employee having multiple skill sets, it's the employee attitude towards towards learning and development and contributing toward value addition that matters. Technology skills cannot be understated, but having technology and business skills ensures that an employee is enabled for success. Business skills are not so much or just about writing, communicating, and presenting, but they're also about having the ability to solve business problems by understanding the customer's day-to-day challenges, their industry and regulatory factors, financial and transactional requirements, operating environments, and even who their customers are. These are the skills for success. Employees should bear the burden of maintaining and honing their business and technical skills through professional networking groups, industry seminars and webcasts, independent research, etc. Now let's take a look at the media industry. In the media industry, every distribution channel is upended by transformative technology is accompanied by a job category that's made obsolete by change. The printing press, for example, must have put an awful lot of scribes out of work when it came along. And how about small businessmen and women who ran all those TV repair shops when Dr. Singh and I were kids? Yeah. And one of the most underrated challenges of technological change is figuring out what new jobs will replace the old ones and where to find people who can do them. Sure, we have outplacement and retraining and a lot of pondering what the jobs of the future will require, but companies still struggle to stay on top of this fast-moving game. The future jobs that will be most in demand within the media ecosystem in the coming years are media sales, media strategy specialists, and social marketing managers. The new sales executives can effectively sell advertising technologies such as ad networks and exchanges to top brand marketers. Media sales professionals with experience and relationships within the branded advertising world are becoming highly critical in changing the reputation of the ad technology world from a way to sell Class 2 remnant inventory to a new way for brands to narrowcast and effectively target those consumers to whom their products are most relevant. In the media strategy sphere, specialists who are focused on hyper-localized marketing will be the ones everyone wants to hire. With the success of Foursquare, Gowalla, MyTown, Whirl, and other location-based social networks, marketers are looking for unique ways to tie into this rapidly growing space. All over the social media landscape, in fact, companies are looking for a few good men and women to help them move smartly and smoothly into the digital future. Marketers, agencies, and publishers are all rapidly building their resources in the social media area, and social media managers are red hot right now. This skill set, not surprisingly, is characterized by people who can think quickly under fire, under the real-time pressures presented by social media, as well as to understand how to demonstrate and communicate ROI from social media initiatives. I would add that a new kind of content creator may soon be in vogue. Writers and visual specialists who are equally adept at home telling entertaining, brand-supported stories on any platform, and who create with that in mind from the beginning. Okay, now let's finally on these industrial sectors, let's look at marketing in today's world. The first point is one that's very dear to my heart, having spent the early part of my career as a writer, and which I emphasize to my own children all the time, because this is so often overlooked today. Writing skills are critical. Never before has writing mattered more. conversely to what you think of with all the digital things going on. While we were trending to a society dominated by video, the web changed all that and gave rebirth to the written word. Text reigns king once again. Also consider that so far video blogging hasn't really taken off. Okay. Search engines reward sites with text-rich content. Companies in the marketing and media industry that matter blog. And you need to be able to contribute to your employer's blog at a high level. Okay, number 2, about 15 points here. Meaningful insight into analytics and interpretation of data. Good marketers know not just how to record metrics, but how to use that data to influence decisions at the strategy table and get buy-in for new projects. This involves both left and right brain thinking, as you can get pretty creative with how you use numbers to tell a story. Number 3, the nexus of marketing specializations. Only by understanding public relations, social media, and search engine optimization can you successfully make their natural overlap work for you. While many today specialize, the marketers of tomorrow will understand all of these innately and devise campaigns that encourage multipliers and results. None of these items happens in a silo. 4, digital strategy development. Forming effective digital strategies is more than just taking current situation data and applying it to a process or formula. That may have worked in the past, but in the future there will be too many people that know the obvious paths to digital marketing results for them to be effective. When everyone is applying the same tactics to acquire limited resources, only those who were first win. Instead, current situation data fused with creative, unique thinking from an experienced practitioner will be the valuable skill. Leadership. In a connected society, marketing seat at the strategy table only grows in value. Tomorrow's marketing professionals must be leaders and be confident in their ability to drive a brand forward. Not afraid to fail. We talked about that a little earlier. In a recent speech by Adam Savage from Mythbusters, he says it very succinctly. Failure is always an option. In fact, go a step further. Don't just be prepared for failure, get organized around it. Always experimenting. The marketers of tomorrow grew up with digital tools and experimenting with ideas, content, and code. You could experiment if you hope to have a cache of creative ideas to tap. You should experiment. Only then will you have an array of experience outside of your normal realms to draw from. Understanding of tools, technologies, applications, and programming languages. Only by innately understanding your tools will you be able to quickly translate ideas into reality or even know what ideas are possible to bring to life within a given time frame. Now, I'm not saying that you should know how to build a Rails app, but you should know what programming languages are capable of and the right designers and developers to tap for the right project, plus how to manage them. Okay, fresh thinking with content. Okay, can you slice and dice content ideas in 10 different ways, making each one compelling? Do you know how to mind map? Digital marketers of tomorrow will come prepared knowing these things. Buzz is a vital element of digital public relations, and tomorrow's marketers will understand the importance of it, how to orchestrate it, and how to measure it accurately. Because they'll be blogging and creating digital media, tomorrow's marketers will be active, connected members of the media. In a world where content is advertising and advertising is content, there's no line between the two. Where we segment the idea of content marketing into its own category of marketing today, in the future it will just be known as marketing. Mass media will become less and less relevant as we create a world where reaching everyone is reaching nowhere. Current marketing classes will need to be fused with sociology to remain relevant in a digital society. And marketers of tomorrow, at least the good ones, will be well connected and have their finger on the pulse of the world's connectors. Now, we've been talking a lot about very high technology and all the careers and things in that, but another